Welcome to the Lost Lowdown, podcast 182, with your hosts, Claude and Justin.
What's up, guys?
Hey, we're back, continuing our season 5 commentary series with episode 513, Some Like It Hoth. I don't like it, Hoth.
I don't particularly care for it Hoth.
No.
I'm not averse to having it Hoth, on special
Mhm.
occasions, but I would prefer not to have it Hoth too often.
It depends on how Hoth it is, like it's getting Hoth in here, so take off all your clones, maybe.
What?
That's a Star Wars, I'm
Oh,
going
yeah, I
Star
get it.
Wars.
Oh my god, that was the ultimate Star Wars pun. Nice. Nice. Star Wars Nelly crossover.
There you
I love
go.
it. I love it. I hope everyone listening to this remembers Hot in Here.
That's the name of the song.
That was a huge hit in 2004.
Ooh.
3?
2, 1? Are we just counting down?
Yeah, I gotta know.
I'm gonna
now.
guess 2001.
Gotta know.
I have no idea though.
All right, we're going to 2002.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, well done.
If it's Price is Right rules, I won. So.
Oh my god, that shit is 17 years old now. All right,
Wow.
Great. So.
So that means we're 17 years old. Yay!
Yay!
With a minimum age to know what that was.
That's right. I remember the first sound when I came into this world was "It's getting hot in here."
Yeah. I remember that also. My first memory, that song. And I'm like, I don't know what these words mean. I'm a baby.
Exactly. It just sounds. It's abstract. I love it.
Yep.
I respond to the rhythm, the insistent rhythm.
Yeah. Well, we just had our Lost Lowdown Across the Sea. You found our origin story. All right. So season 5.
What year is it?
I'm confused. We're time traveling. Who knows? Where's the well? That's how you know where you are. Is there
Oh yeah, the well explains everything.
The well is well. Yeah, so season 5 is chugging along here.
Chugging. The chug is like very grindy. It's a grindy, slow chug.
Yeah. I guess chug seems like it can go both ways. It could be an easy chug or a hard chug, I guess.
Yeah.
It's an indeterminate type of chug.
Happening.
Yeah. I think it's a tough chug. But it is going. We're close to the end of the season.
True.
So I think things are gonna start picking up here. So we're at Some Like It Hoth. I remember not liking this episode.
Me too.
Remember there being like any Lost episode, and it some interesting moments.
Yeah.
But overall, going, what's happening here?
Yeah. In the early days of like season 1, 2, 3, the long ones where it's like 20 something, like there's always some episodes in there where it's like, as good, even in season 1. Yep. There are episodes where it's like, that's okay. It has its moments, but it's not as good as some of the other stuff, But I think, once the show starts shrinking and getting down to shorter seasons, I think when you have episodes like this, it's a little more disappointing because it's taking up a bigger amount of space, basically. But and it's like, I don't know. I view this episode as like partially a holdover from season 4. Like it's kind of like the freighter stuff was supposed to be developed more there, but they got cut short because of the writer's strike. And so this is like Miles centric. We find out finally after all this time, here we're at the end of the season. Miles is like the Richard Alpert of season 5. It's like, we gotta know what's the deal with Miles.
Yep.
So, we find out like some stuff about him. It's like I don't know. I mean, I always think like that in terms of drama.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're going to reveal that characters are related, it should matter. And I think that one problem that Lost has with that is that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times they make characters related, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's like the relation is the reveal of a relation is all they get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, then what? Like, it never comes to anything,
Mm-hmm.
like Jack and Claire being
It just
related.
it just reinforces the connected nature of the characters and
Exactly.
that there's some seemingly strange thing happening because it's not random people all the time. Sometimes
Right.
it's people who are related that are wrapped up in all this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Independently of the island or
Mm-hmm.
crashing there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but it's not like a big deal. So anyway, just to say, like, it was crazy the idea that Miles is related to
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote Marvin Candle,
Mm-hmm.
but the reality of it is like, so what? I mean,
Well, and you wonder is that just something that just is a fluke of casting? Like they casted an Asian, actor as
right.
Marvin Candle,
Right, right.
which
Yeah,
gave
so
them the
like
ability to
if Ethan had been played by an Asian actor and
yeah.
Miles was played by a white actor, they would just make like Miles related to Horace and
Mm-hmm.
Ethan would have been
Horace and Amy would have been Asian,
right.
and yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they just would have like changed the
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah. You might be right. You might be right. Supposedly they had that planned in season 4, but you never know what they're thinking or what they
Mm-hmm.
mean when
Well,
things developed.
yeah, and it does make sense that if they knew they were gonna have Marvin Candle be a character for real, and not just a guy in the orientation videos, then it would make sense to them to think about, okay, well, where did he come from? What
Yeah.
was he doing on the island? What's his relationships like? And they might
Yeah.
have thought of creating a character like Miles and to lead up to this connection.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
The problem I think is besides that, the other problem is you would think that the revelation that they're related would give you some clue about why he has powers, and it
Mhm.
kind of doesn't. It just says,
No.
"Oh, well, he was born on the island," and that's all
Yeah.
we get.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. That would be an example of like why it matters.
Hmm.
They if like um it still makes no sense to me, but like if somehow being exposed to and maybe we're supposed to believe this, but like being exposed to these dharma experiments or the power of the island or something gave him that power, you
Hmm.
know. It does seem like they want us to think that, um but I don't really know why,
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
don't make it clear on any level.
Hmm.
Like, I guess a related question would be about Hurley and Desmond, just in terms of like characters with special abilities.
Yeah.
Like, do they all come from the island, or are they just had those and they happened to end up on the island, or
Hmm.
did they end up on the island because they had those?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing with Desmond is we really should have found out he was born on the island. Like that
Yeah,
really should have been part of his story for it to be cohesive that he had
yeah.
this big connection, and it could be
Or did
that.
he just get it when he triggered the failsafe,
Hmm.
and he didn't have powers before that?
And that's the
It's
other
like an
thing.
origin story.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. Try to be biological about it. Is there some sort of idea that Marvin Candle is walking around this island with this electromagnetism? Is it
Mm-hmm.
irradiating his sperm or something?
Mm-hmm. Oh
So
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
he has a
Yeah.
baby that has an electromagnetic signature on it that's different,
Yeah.
and
I was thinking
and
of just
then
being exposed to it like during the pregnancy, but yeah, that's
yeah,
like,
yeah, even yeah. So then once
because he's getting close to that stuff. Like he's in
yeah.
the mines and up
Yeah.
close to the donkey wheel and all that. So
Yeah, yeah. So does
yeah.
that do something? But then Hurley sort of unexplained.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, because Hurley was seeing Dave before he came to the islands.
yeah.
But I guess I think the thing that they never really said was like what Dave was. Because if Dave really
Mhm.
was just an imaginary person, it's not the same as seeing ghosts. And it's just a
For
weird
sure.
coincidence that he
Well,
started seeing ghosts later.
then his powers just started on the island when he just got there for no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Same reason like Locke could walk, it gave him this, or Jin could have a baby.
Mhm.
Like
Well, but see, that's the thing.
it
That's two separate
bestowed
groups.
it.
There's the island healing powers, which are a thing, and then there's
Yeah.
these mystical magic powers.
It extra healed him. Didn't you have a theory like that at one point? I feel like you did. That sounds familiar to me.
It
Something
healed.
like
It
something
healed
like
who?
the healing, you could like tie in the healing powers with like giving someone, seeming to give someone special powers by just doing something, like healing them a lot.
That sounds familiar. I'm trying to think of how that fits for Hurley.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like or no, maybe it was about the pregnancy thing. The babies
There was a
dying.
thing about the pregnancy thing where
It was
the
the healing
healing.
properties are killing the babies somehow.
Yeah, yeah. There was a theory about that.
Yeah, maybe that's what I had in mind, and
Yeah.
it didn't explain Hurley. Uh, but yeah, I think it's definitely a gap. I mean, there's a lot of gaps in the story, so it's not that surprising. But
Hmm.
it does seem like something they would spend time on. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, and then there's that other idea with Hurley is that he's just because he saw Dave or something, his willingness to accept reality is different. So that's why he can see the ghosts or something
Right.
like that because
Yeah.
he has a different point of view. But yeah, it's weird the Miles thing. I mean, they're both about dead people, so there's something
Yeah.
there with that.
Yeah, and it's weird that they have like slightly different powers as far as dead
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, maybe it's the and Miles's thing was anywhere, but I was gonna say some proximity to the island thing because the whole idea the island has that cork or whatever, right? Life and death is down there, so some idea of these characters are able to sort of peer into that energy source where the dead might be able to talk through that, you know.
Right.
So for Miles, like for wherever they really are, or something, or they can sort of talk to Miles through that
Right.
type of thing. But
Yeah.
it's nicely undefined, so we can speculate about it for decades.
It's true. That's true. But yeah, I think your original point like is true. Like I think, I think for me it's just wrapped up in a general disappointment with how the Dharma plot goes.
Mm-hmm.
I just think like we get all this time with Dharma, and if
Yeah,
anything, it just makes it worse.
yeah.
And
The
so,
Brzezinski
yes,
prospect.
perfect example. Yeah, exactly. There's just so much, and so I think the Marvin Candle thing is just for me like an example of that general thing of like we get this
Mm-hmm.
up close and personal thing with the character, but it kind of
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. It doesn't really go anywhere.
It's the Ridley Scott theorem that uh, one of his themes is be careful what you wish for in terms of meeting your maker, right? Like
Yeah,
in his movies, when you meet your creator, like it's bad news.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
They're
kind
gonna
of that
punch
thing
your
of
head off.
they're gonna punch your head off. Don't do it. Um, and so it's that idea of like you really want something. Oh, I really want to know about that guy in the orientation video, but then they go, oh, okay, yeah, let's
Hmm.
see about that.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely in there in the mode. It definitely
Hmm.
fits like the theme of the show. So they get away with it on that front.
Yeah.
I can't say that like they've departed from what the show's about, but I can say that it was disappointing.
Yeah, same with Ben meeting Jacob,
Yeah.
that whole
Oh
thing.
yeah. I mean anything to do with Jacob and the Man in Black,
Hmm.
falls in that category. However, I do think that whatever you want to say about Jacob and the Man in Black, which we say a lot about them, they do contribute in sort of a major way to the storyline as
Mm-hmm.
it progresses. So at least on that level, like it sort of matters. Just Dharma's just like such a blip. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just even the incident like barely
Mm-hmm.
matters.
Mm-hmm.
it's,
That's
it's
my biggest. That's like my top 5 complaints of the
I
show.
know, I know. That's why I was bringing it up. It's a perfect example of just
Yeah.
like having the opportunity to make it do something and
Mm-hmm.
just not doing it for whatever reason. Just dodging it and moving on and just going like, yeah, we're done with Dharma. We're not even gonna like
mm-hmm.
talk about that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's yeah. It's something I don't like on TV shows. I think it is a problem for like just the way they're written and stuff, but just when they introduce a thing and like there's a whole season about that, and then they go to a new season, then they kind of have to like put aside the previous season. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes a lot of things in the previous season are unresolved, and it could
Yeah.
just be frustrating when they kind of move on as though they've done everything there, and maybe they did everything they wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
but it can make the whole thing feel a bit like uh disjointed. Like it just like
Yeah, part of the other side of that is when it seems like the characters didn't learn anything at all
yeah,
from the encounter. So like,
yeah,
I don't feel like any of this stuff with the Losties going to the 70s taught them anything
yeah, I
about
agree.
anything, about why
Yeah,
they're there, what they should be
no,
doing there,
no,
what's at stake. Like
no.
and then once they're done with that time period, it's just like, okay, well, we never have to talk about that again.
Jin learned English. I can't think of like very
There
much
you
that
go.
came out of it that was useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
that was like the best thing.
He did the most extensive cartography on the island next to
Mm-hmm.
anybody, but like we never got to see what that was
Yeah,
about.
sorry, Jin. Widmore didn't really have a great plan if he had one at all. So
Maybe blame Jacob. Maybe.
maybe it might be Jacob's fault, or maybe
Might
they
be
never
Jacob's fault.
talked. Who knows?
Who
He didn't say
knows?
anything about it.
Nope. Nope. Gotta love it, Hoth.
Yeah, yeah, God.
All right, you want to get into this thing?
I guess we have to at some point.
Yeah, it's not gonna watch itself.
All right, here we go.
All right, everybody, get your players ready if you're gonna sync up with us for some like it Hoth. I feel like you get to decide if you're the sum or not. Like by the end of it, we'll decide. All right, here we go.
Yeah,
You ready?
let's do it.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No previously unlost.
Why would
But
we
there is a
need any of that?
316 on the microwave, so
Of course. Classic. Uh-oh.
that's my husband. I don't know. He's very quiet. What? That's what we all should say because we heard the name Miles.
It's shocking.
Yep. I hope that's not a dead vending machine and he hears its voice. Is that how it works? No, guess not.
No, I think the dead is calling to him.
Don't go
To
in there,
number
Danny. Don't
4.
go in
Oh
there.
no! What's in room number 4, Mr. Halloran?
Oh, don't you worry about it now. You just keep on a shining.
There's something bad in there, isn't there?
Oh, now why don't you wait till the dead of winter to find out?
Oh god. Yeah, this is like definitely
This is such The Shining. I
there's
mean,
a
like,
Stephen King element
yeah,
here, very strong.
yeah, yeah. Going to a room you're not supposed to go into, getting hurt off
Yeah.
screen, or potentially hurt.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. That's the best line because it's not like something he heard. It's like, yeah, he's still
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like where's that TV show? Right? I mean, that's a whole
Yeah.
TV show.
Definitely.
Miles, I think we've talked about that before. Miles, the private eye,
Yeah.
using his powers. He's like a noir psychic.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. They went with Miles the Con Man,
Yeah.
which now that I think about it, it makes sense that he teams up with Sawyer.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's weird to con somebody in a situation where he actually has the
He
thing.
has that's not the con.
Yeah.
The con is he uses his powers to like steal shit from them.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he lies to them about what the dead people say to like give them peace.
So one con bad and one con good.
Exactly. See, it evens out.
Yep.
LaFleur?
LaFleur? LaFleur? How is it supposed to go? LaFleur?
I don't know anymore. I'm bad at
Any
it.
myrrh?
Anymore. Yeah, I don't know how any words sound.
Wow, don't tell your job that.
I
You're gonna have a hard
know.
time in the office.
I don't want to see Radzinski. Do we have to?
Oh, jeez, don't ruin it.
Uh-oh. You're 334 miles.
Y'all the hostile territory you're not supposed to be in. Oh, horror tropes. What are you gonna do?
Oh God.
Yeah.
LaFleur. There it is.
LaFleur.
That's how they're saying it.
Mm-hmm.
LaFleur. LaFleur. Sounds weird.
That's the American way.
It is. This fucking guy. God. Oh, right. I forgot about this. I totally forgot about this. Oh,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. This fucking thing.
He fell into a ditch. Because why?
Because I told you that's your job. And your job is to do what I tell you.
Because why?
So you do your job.
So
Because I
your
told
job.
you.
It's a closed loop of logic there. There's no entrance, there's no exit. You're just stuck in it.
They don't know about his secret powers. He's gonna get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
This is the fucking CSI episode here.
It totally is, yeah. This is his TV show. Yeah, this is what he would do.
All right.
Speak
Now
to
tell
me.
me what you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I love it. I love it. I know I've seen it before, so it's not like I'm predicting the show without
This is
any knowledge, but
this is like that original pitch document for the show when they're like, it's a cop show, it's a lawyer show, it's a
100%.
doctor
Yes.
show. And now
Yes.
here's your it's a, CSI show.
Yeah, yeah. Procedural, like, yeah.
Yeah, supernatural procedural.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
This is like his costume from when he was in the X-Men movie. He just
yeah,
doesn't have the spikes.
you're right. You're right. You're right. I guess this is like younger Mile, like that's why
Yeah,
they're
it's supposed
doing
to be.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's always weird when they don't change the actors.
Mom, I'm an X-Men.
It's like weirdly true. No matter
Yeah, he
what he
does have
does.
powers, so a mutant's gonna dress like a mutant, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
we were fighting Magneto.
The Golden Gate Bridge isn't there anymore.
He moved it, Ma. He moved it. Nah, he was actually a bad guy, so he wouldn't be on the X-Men. But the joke's funnier that way.
Oh, okay. He was a bad guy. Okay, I
Yeah,
forgot.
he was on the bad guy side. Because he's the reveal in this episode.
Yeah. She's doing a Cassidy now.
Mm.
He's a coward.
Oh yeah.
Don't believe anything he says. It's all
Mm-hmm.
lies.
Mm-hmm. That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like okay. I have a question. Sorry. Um just for a second. Does she believe this? She's actually bitter about what happened. This is all genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Or is there a chance she's saying this to cover up what happened
I see.
on the
Yep, there's
island? Just like
always
the
yeah.
lies that Charlotte's parents told her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting that she would do a cover story, but then at the end give him a really tantalizing clue that they could leave the scene on.
Right.
Like why
Right.
not say something super? He's in, a cemetery down the street.
Right. Right.
But there's always that possibility, which is why the show is like it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
This is also what I don't like. This is my least favorite types of character moments, like he's just doing, where he's forcing another character into the plot and he's
Yeah.
doing it like an asshole. So it's like
Yeah.
this double whammy of it being contrived and unpleasant. It's like my
Right.
least favorite thing.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of that in this
There's a
Dharma
lot of
plot.
that in the Dharma plot. Yep.
It's yeah, it's a problem. What's secret about it?
Previously on Private Practice. Dr. Juliet Burke was contemplating a big problem. I feel like I've lost the narrative thread about like what's been going on here.
It was Ben, they're talking about
They're
Ben.
just okay. Oh, that guy. We gave him to some strangers in the woods.
Yeah, yeah, that's the answer. I love it. I love
We
it.
gave it to some weirdos in the woods.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know.
This is the plan. I don't know. I feel like they didn't think that through.
No.
Like they should have had a cover story at least, but it seemed like there was no
I
plan.
guess that was the best plan. That was all they
It's
could
like we don't
do.
know. He's just gone.
I guess they're well. To me, the plan is it's inevitable. There's nothing we can do to prevent him from going to security.
Right.
Ultimately, right? They can't pretend Ben is anywhere else. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So that's inevitable. So that leaves
Yeah.
them with few options for to do anything, but to say I
Right.
don't know to buy
Right.
time.
Yeah.
I gotta check. I gotta check this second. I can't wait till we were going to check. I gotta check right now because it's the TV
Oh my
show.
god, the sandwiches are so bad. The smell is like permeating the
It
entire
smells like a
thing.
dead body. That's how bad they could be. And it just happened. It didn't happen when
Yeah.
I was making them 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's like really scary.
Why wouldn't he just tell them?
I know, seriously.
Sometimes TV shows, man.
Uh huh.
Oh, jeez.
Ah, that's what it was, right? Magnetism.
Mm. This is where Miles meets his teammate.
Yep.
Mine's kind of better than yours, but not
Yeah.
in some ways. In some ways, it's not.
Depends on what you want, you know?
Yeah, it depends on what you want. Do you want to know stuff right when they died?
Mm hmm. And the problem with Hurley's power is that he's subject to manipulation by the ghosts.
Yeah. Well, and it's up to the ghost to show up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he didn't really have control. He was selling blue meth and
That is Hank? I was like, is that fucking Hank?
that's totally
It's
Hank.
been so long. Holy shit. Wow.
He called
Wow.
himself Heisenberg, and I just made fun of. Where's Jesse?
Do the Nazis still have Jesse?
It's gonna cost you extra. That's the love tax.
So true.
So I guess this is how we know this is the con fake part because we're supposed to have sort of seen how his power works, and he's got to be
Yeah.
next to the dead body. So we
Yeah.
know that this is all BS right now.
Yeah. Exactly. Which means that I think the earlier scene was like a little bit messed up because it he goes in the room, there's nobody in there, and yet he finds where the money is. He like asks and finds where the money is hidden.
Yeah, as if the spirit was there in the room.
Exactly. Yeah, which
Yeah.
is very it's different from what they say later that he needs a body.
Yep.
It's kind of like the Man in Black thing in a way.
What do you mean?
Like the idea that he needs a dead body
Oh, yeah.
to take the
Mhm.
appearance of someone.
Uh-oh.
Oh shit, I forgot about this.
Yeah.
Of course, because they have to explain how he got on the freighter.
Yeah.
That's kind of the last like missing piece here.
Yeah, it's really late.
I know, right? It's amazing to get this like 2 years later.
Yeah, I'm like, remember the freighter?
Yeah, yeah, Naomi,
Yeah,
that
wow.
wig. Oh,
Yeah.
this is the origin of with a wig like that. Miles is definitely interested.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's funny. Wow, that's old.
That's a classic line. Oh
With a
man.
wig like that.
Yeah, go check out the Some Like It Hot podcast for that. I forgot which one that was in. All right, for that alone, it gets a half star.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta love it.
Okay, I have a feeling you're gonna ruin things.
It's Kate, isn't it?
I know. It's not my fault that they keep writing me this way. I know.
It's true. That's a really dumb thing to say in this situation
It's not
where
good.
the cover is like, your son has just vanished.
Yeah.
It'll all work out.
Yeah, she's trying to make it better, but it's actually like making things worse.
Yeah, here it comes.
He's suspicious now.
What do you know, woman?
Yeah. 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 Oh boy.
Who are you?
Yeah, by the way.
Your futuristic accent. Because I'm Kate Austin.
Well, damn.
I mind every business but my own. That's on her business card. Oh, geez, here it comes. Like which ones? Confirm that other episode.
Yeah.
Which seems to be different than what he did in the first scene. When he's like, he's still talking.
Oh god, you're right. Oh man, in the same episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a little
it's a good
weird.
point. It's weird to specifically say it's not that.
Because they said he was calling out for his what? I guess that's when he was dying. He was having a heart attack. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's what you believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was like, I can still hear him.
Yeah, he's still doing it.
Yeah.
So he didn't make it seem like it was a feeling. Yeah.
No.
Before he could even ask, does this guy know anything? Hurley just jumps past that for him. Look at me, Master Secret Keeper. Yeah, why would you assume I didn't like it? I love the interdepartmental
I
conference.
know he doesn't give a shit about what they're doing. I remember thinking that was weird. It's ridiculous. Like, really? They're your fucking colleagues.
Yeah. This is the disunity that every organization in Lost has. Like, there's just
Yeah.
no fundamental framework or goal. It's just every person for themselves. Do whatever you're gonna
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Like life. Daddy douche. There it
There
is.
it is. Oh, good one.
Oh man. Yeah, there it is.
That douche is my
Wow.
dad commercial. That's great. That's great.
What's this great new douche you're using? Douche is my dad. Dad brand douche products. Yeah, we're back in the CSI episode here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Something about Widmore?
Hmm.
Oh, is this the fake plane?
I guess so. Yeah.
The body's in the fake plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
This is him doing the cover up.
That is a sneaky way to get some like clarification, exposition into the story.
But he was delivering that stuff to Widmore. How is he dead?
That's a good question.
Because Widmore ends up getting that stuff, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Ben. His idea that Ben took it from him because
Oh,
Ben had
maybe
it, right?
so.
So Ben killed this guy.
Yeah, it could
To
be.
get... Oh, there it
Yeah,
is.
they're talking about Ben. There it is. Yeah.
I remember this. Why is it
Oh no, the
1.6?
magic number.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because he's going to demand like less later,
He
right?
wants it. He wants that. He asks for exactly twice that much from Kate, I think. Like he says
Oh, is that what it
3.2
is?
million. I think so. I
Yeah.
think
Oh,
that was the
sold up.
story. Like you have to double what they offered.
Mm.
That's the answer we get like 2 years later. Why do we care?
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Billy Crystal.
Really?
Yeah. Like some of the lines that he was saying, I was like, who? He's giving me a vibe from somebody. It's Billy Crystal. Let's look out for it. See if you can. Yeah, there's a Billy Crystal
Okay.
thing happening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man,
Jack.
Jack the janitor.
Oh, he's just so happy to be doing nothing right now.
Yep.
Oh, I'm just
Yep.
gonna erase the board.
Oh,
This
it's
is my
Egyptian
life.
shit on the board.
Classic. Idiot. After you clean up that mess I just made.
Damn.
I
That
think I
was my
said that last
mom.
podcast. That
No
was my mom.
janitor like solidarity here.
No.
Uh-oh. Catherine, you mean? Yeah. You gonna step in, Jack? Or you gonna just chill out? All too well.
But now Jack just lost his credibility by saying he knows her really well, so
Yeah,
he's not objective anymore.
it's true.
You're just
You're
vaguely
hashtag
threatening.
complicit.
Yep.
Now you're one of them.
Now you're one of them. All right, that was a weird scene.
You're one of the others. Yeah, they're ramping up like Roger Linus as like an agent of exposure and agitation.
Mm-hmm. Right, Miles? Your name is Miles, right, Miles? Well, you know whose work you hate.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
All right.
Not a secret fence.
Secret garden fence. Oh no, what are they building?
Oh no.
I hope we get the answer to why the numbers are so mysterious
Oh
in this
god, is that gonna
scene.
come in this one too?
Yeah, I think so. I think, or is that in the incident? I think it's here. Yeah, here we go.
Oh fuck, there it is.
Hey, Glenn! Give me some random numbers that don't mean anything. They showed up right at the exact moment.
Yeah.
Wow. It's almost like it was meant to be. Hold on, it's smudged.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on, you weren't here in season 1. Okay. The only way they use the numbers is that's how he figures out what it is.
What was that?
The way they use the numbers is that's how Hurley figures out that it's a Swan station.
Yeah, I think it's for the audience to know that that's what they're building there. Oh, this.
Yep.
You
Yep.
just got brammed.
You got brammed.
You got brammed.
Bram.
Bram. What's up, bro? I'm Bram.
Bramming it up.
Oh, that's right. So he says no to the job, but then he's going to go undercover.
No, he agreed. He agreed to
Oh,
do
did he
it.
agree?
I think
Oh,
that's what is implied by this. Because they're trying to tell him not to.
oh, I thought he was. Okay.
I assume Naomi like accepted the offer. Like 1.6 million.
What does this mean? Does this mean he knows he's going to go back in time?
Yeah. I mean, he does come from Jacob. So if anyone might know that. There it is.
How about zero? The island can only fill that hole. It's an island-sized hole. Why would you treat him like this?
I know. Like they come off like
Team
gangster
Bram.
terrorists or something.
Uh,
Yeah, the
okay.
tactics are very weird. I don't
I
I
was
don't get
confused
that.
by that conversation. Don't go to that island, but you should go there because you're dead.
No, he was saying don't get on Charles Widmore's freighter. Come with us to the island. We'll teach you
Oh, I see.
about your origin. Yeah, you can still go, just don't get on the freighter because Widmore's bad.
Okay. So that's why I can't get to know him because I never had a chance. Unlike now, except for now when he's here,
And alive.
except for time traveling.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's Hurley's big secret.
Mm-hmm. Why is Hurley acting like that? He should be proud of this. Why is he acting like it's embarrassing? Don't you remember when I wrote that? Because that's how it works. You go out looking for a sequel.
I'm looking for a sequel. Anybody know where I can find one?
Send me all your scripts.
What do you got?
I'm brave enough to write the new movie, but you're
Because I
not.
remember seeing it
Because
already.
I saw it a lot.
Jack.
Because she fucked it up. She cated it.
The wrong place.
Yeah. Yeah, Jack's like too casual to me. Like, I don't like him
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
like doing this over coffee.
Yeah. I need
It's
him
too
to be
late for
like
coffee, by
wound
the
up a
way.
little bit to enjoy Jack. He needs to
Yeah,
be like
he's
on the edge of
Cash.
anxiety. Yeah. He's Dr.
Yeah.
Cash.
Yeah. Step into my office.
Yeah.
It's all
Take your
good.
shoes off.
Put your feet up. Fucking Phil.
It was the guy behind Winkies.
I, I can see him.
I had a dream and you were there.
He's there right now. He's the reason it's happening.
Jeez.
There's your 3 years,
Get the
Phil.
rope.
Get a rope.
Yeah. Ace Picante sauce. Brought some of that New York City picante sauce.
Yeah, so clearly, like, the Dharma thing's on its way out.
Yeah, clearly. Strom. Some guys told me not to, but I didn't listen. I'm confused. He's just going for the money.
He's going for the money.
They said we
Yeah.
won't give you anything, and he doesn't care about knowing about his dad, so he was not enticed to go with them. Okay.
Yeah.
But I did find Jesse.
Oh, here it is. Theme time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the best cowboys have daddy issues, right?
Yep. Guess that makes Miles a cowboy.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
So true. All right. God.
Yeah, it's all.
Everybody hates their dads.
Yep. Moms are fine. Except for Kate.
Yeah. Except for that one
Yeah.
infamous one.
Ah,
Oh boy.
uh. It's weird for a story to tell a moral from another story.
Yeah.
What cost? The Death Star cost a lot.
I think the Ewoks would exist either way. I mean, you just
Mm-hmm.
might not have been in the movie. I guess there wouldn't
Oh
have been a movie if the
no.
conflicts were resolved at the end of movie 2.
Here we go.
Yep. I don't care about you, son.
I'm going to abandon you as soon as I can.
I'm kicking you to the curb and not looking back.
You'll have no memory of this one good experience we had. Ring ring,
Does
destiny
he have like a
calling.
Dharma blanket? Or what the fuck is that? Okay. Yeah. Just making sure it's a Dharma baby blanket.
Hey, you there, watching my family
What the fuck
secretly
you
in the
doing?
window.
Peeping. Creepy peeper.
Creepy peeper.
Oh no, not the
Oh,
sub.
oh
Oh
no, not Ann
shit. Ann
Arbor.
Arbor. It's the DeGroots.
It's the DeGroots, Mr. and
Finally, we get to meet
Mrs.
the DeGroots.
Finally, the people behind the people. The brains behind it all will finally understand what this was all about. Yes, Mr. DeGroot. Don't show your face yet, Mr.
Wait a
DeGroot.
minute. I don't remember DeGroot being
Wait.
witchy.
Oh my God, Dan DeGroot.
You're a DeGroot and a Whitmore?
It's a hyphen. It's a hyphenated one. Dan DeGroot Whitmore. He didn't know. He didn't know he was a DeGroot. All right. Well,
Yeah, so I don't know about that as an ending because I
what
think
did he
like
say?
long time no see.
Oh, that was pretty weak.
To me, like they had, yeah, like that's yeah for an ending of for an act break or something for a
Mm-hmm.
commercial break, it's okay, but
That's
it's
a good
weak as
teaser.
fuck for the end of an
Yeah.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
teaser totally fine. Beginning of next episode fine, but it's just like really that's it's like they had nothing to leave us on, and so they were just like we have Dan's arrival, but we don't have anything interesting about Dan's arrival.
Because we don't know what to expect, right? Like, we don't know why
Yeah,
he's gone, do
no,
we?
we don't have a clue. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what he's
Now,
thinking.
the last time we saw him was the first episode of the season. Is that
No,
right?
no,
Or
no.
did
He time traveled with them until
Oh, that's right.
they got to Dharma, and we even saw him there in the early Dharma days, and then they did the 3 year cut. You know,
Okay.
that was
Okay.
in La Fleur, if I'm
Because
saying it right.
they,
And
yeah, and that's the other part is the Charlotte thing, right?
yeah,
So the 3 years helps him not be on the island
yeah,
too long with her around.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just going to see her briefly here at the end of his
Mm-hmm.
life, which is going to be one more episode. So yeah, I think he was gone like around like 8 episodes ago or 5 or something like that.
Okay.
The beginning of the Dharma stuff.
Yeah.
That was the last time. And that was a question from that episode like what happened to Faraday? Like where is he? What
Mm-hmm.
is he doing? So
He's
yeah.
getting us another degree.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really know if he did anything that mattered except like overturn his other theory into a theory that was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. He traded one theory for another theory, and it didn't really
I
help
think his
anything.
original theory was like a lot better.
Yeah. So what was the original theory?
Whatever happened happens.
Whatever happened happened, and then he changed that to we're the variables, so we can
We're the
change
variables so we
things.
can change anything.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh shit. It's kind of like the lock thing, you know. I
Yeah.
was wrong.
Yeah. So it turns out, the variables didn't. They aren't the variables.
No,
None of that mattered. It
not
was, yeah,
really.
whatever happened happened because it's
Yep.
always their present they're living in.
Yep.
So
Yep. Exactly. So they always did that. Everything always happened, and the compass goes on forever.
yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good example of like one of those later era lost endings. That's just
Mm-hmm.
like pretty weak. Just like they didn't
Yeah.
really have anything there. It was just like, oh, Dan's back. I mean, it's cool, you know, if you were missing him this whole time, it's exciting. You get to see him, but I just feel like as a viewer, I want more than that. You know, so like
Yeah.
just for the most extreme example that I brought up before of loss, like knowing how to do this in the old days is we have to go back. Like it was enough that we find out it's a flash forward and they're off the island. But no, we have to go back. They
Mm-hmm.
put that on top. And to me, that it really took it to another level. And obviously that's the end of a season, so it's going to be a bigger deal than just a random episode. But I just feel like they should have given us a little more with Dan to get an ending.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the problem here is they didn't have anything to set him up with, right?
Yeah,
So, when he comes back, it's not like I figured it out, and we've been waiting for him. Like if they had said, Dan went off to figure out how we can get back to the present. How do we get out of this thing?
Right.
Then
Yeah.
if he came back and he's like Eureka, then it's like, oh wow, he's came up with he did the impossible,
Yeah.
But like, yeah, we just don't really know what to expect right now. So
Right.
there's no real weight to that. It's just like, I guess we'll see you next episode. Why this is interesting.
Right. Exact. Yeah. And that's why I feel like that's not a good cliffhanger because it doesn't give you anything to really think
Hang on.
about. Yeah. Like, what were we talking about, as far as that goes? Hey, I guess there's a way to find that out. Although not right now, but hopefully by the time you're listening to this, the last of them is available.
Oh, our hosting company. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want a clue about when we're recording this won't tell you much because they've been out for a week. All right,
Yeah.
anyway.
Sorry if you've been having problems getting the podcast
Yeah.
during this period. The
We should
Hipcast is
have
working.
resolved it by the time you're hearing this in one way or another. But yeah, thanks for your patience. But yeah, it's one of those things
Yep.
about the internet and you know.
Uh, so yeah, this episode was kind of middling. I
Yeah.
remember originally liking it more because I think the flashbacks about Miles and his backstory. I think I remember liking that originally.
They threw in a
Uh,
little bit of intrigue there with the Bram stuff because we at this point we
yeah,
don't know anything about Bram.
yeah, that's
So
a good point.
it's kind of a reveal and also like a
Yeah.
teaser for like, so what are they doing there, like who are
Mm-hmm.
these people, they're acting weird, they're acting like the bad guys from an action movie in this thing, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't really understand. I guess they want it to be ambiguous, but it is like it's a bit weird to portray them that way. It could have been more X-Files, I guess.
Well, yeah, or like, why roll up on him and kidnap him? Now the only thing is if Widmore is watching him.
That's what he said. He said you're under surveillance.
Okay, so then that's the reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then all you do is you throw in a line and you say sorry for the whatever. You're
Yeah.
being watched, and then you gotta go. Okay, they're doing this for a reason. It's not like
Yeah.
just being weird.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. It raises a lot of questions about like how, like, what the plan was.
Hmm.
Why is Miles being recruited by Bram's crew? Does that tell us something about these people and what they're doing there and why? Do they all have some like secret connection to the island? I mean, they're not all Ilana with where their father is Jacob. I know that's
Hmm.
not true technically, but you know, that's my
Yep.
point. Like, what's their tie-in? Like, we don't really know that, I think. But it raises that question since they try to recruit Miles, who like has a specific connection with the
Hmm.
island, and they even offer to like teach him about that. And like,
Yeah.
why go about it this way? What's the difference between this crew and the candidates? What
Uh
how,
oh.
how does that get sorted
Uh
out? You know what I
oh.
mean?
Yeah, that's weird. I guess the candidates were on the show earlier.
You should have been in season 1, Miles.
Should have been in season
Sorry.
one. Yo, what's up? You
You're
missed the
gonna have to
boat.
join this
You missed
like
the
also
plane.
ran crew. This is
Yeah,
how it
yeah.
goes.
The B team. Uh, yeah, it's weird. And isn't it? Yeah, I guess Hurley's the only candidate who has like powers. Right?
Des. Oh, I guess maybe he wasn't a candidate. Let me think. He wasn't on the list, was he? Or was he?
I
Nah,
don't
he
think
wasn't. I don't think he
so.
was. Yeah, he got
Uh,
crossed off. Although, like, Jacob would cross people off for like no reason. He didn't give a fuck. Like, oh, whatever. You
Yep.
wore white after Labor Day.
Yep, you're not a candidate for the fashion school, Jacob's Fashion Academy. That's what this was all for. He's got a new school. Yeah, this episode's weird. It's all over the place. There's a lot of little nuggets for things that they're setting up for later.
Yeah, yeah. The Naomi stuff, like the fact that they brought back, that's a perfect example. Like, I think the Naomi stuff like illustrates the fact that it's a season 4 holdover because it really
Yeah.
does feel like really
Yeah, it's pretty late to out of nowhere show that.
we're just going back to Naomi now. Shit.
And that's the kind of thing that contributes to the idea when you're like, oh well, maybe they'll get to that answer eventually.
Definitely.
It took them two
Yeah.
seasons to show this answer,
Right, right,
so
right.
maybe so then that really like
But I think it was for a specific reason here that doesn't apply in general. So it's a little bit of
yeah,
evolution.
yeah, for sure.
They do take a long time sometimes, but more often with things that matter.
Hmm.
They won't necessarily get to your favorite thing that you want to see. And
Yeah, but
when I say your, I mean mine.
they're happy to make you hold out hope, though.
Exactly. Yeah, the cabin, is a good example
Yep.
of that, I think. Um, just hang in there, maybe they'll talk about it again. But it's like someday you should learn, like if they burn that shit down, they are not gonna talk about it again.
Yeah, once they burn it down, it's really not coming back.
It's so over. So yeah, I think it was like kind of breezy
Hmm.
stylistically. It was kind of all over the place.
All over the place.
Sometimes it felt like CSI, and then other times it
Hmm.
felt more like a family drama.
Hmm.
Which I guess goes back to the writing document or whatever. Like they can do it all.
Yep, yep.
It's great. I think like in a way I wish Dan had showed up earlier, but I guess he would have hijacked the episode and they couldn't make the emotional climax happen with Miles, so maybe they just
Hmm.
couldn't have. But in terms of the plot and the zing of the ending, I wish he'd showed up earlier.
Hmm.
But they just don't structure episodes that way. They needed to like get to a point with Miles, explain. I feel like I'm noticing these character like thematic elements definitely like very heavily featured.
Hmm.
Like that was a huge thing in this episode, like getting to that point of like why he feels the way he does
Yeah.
about being in the 70s with his dad and why he's not talking to him.
Hmm.
That was a major point. And I feel like back in the day, I was so focused on the plot that I wasn't really
Yeah.
noticing like how big of a deal that was in terms of the
Hmm.
time they spend on it.
Yeah. I feel like the kind of ending they wanted is there's some long running mystery throughout the whole episode, and then Miles goes over to his parents' place and he stares through the window, and then there's a reveal about what he sees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's my dad, or oh,
Yeah.
that's me, or oh, wow, but it's like they can't really do that because of the context of, well, he knows that's his dad and he's been there
Right.
for 3 years and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like that's the kind of shot at the end that would have been like some big reveal, and they couldn't really get that organically, and then
Yeah.
that's
Good
why
point. That's a
yeah,
good
you know what I
point.
mean.
The
And then
time
so
jump like forced them out of the initial surprise moment, which would have been more
yeah,
dramatic.
yeah, exactly. And then you know because they could have had a thing where he doesn't know that's his dad.
Yeah.
He hasn't put it together,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
still have the talk about, and then he sort of pieces it together through the episode.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and then he sees himself with his dad as a baby
Yeah,
again.
yeah, and he has to like deal with it in the episode. It's awkward. It's
Yeah.
it's yeah, I think the time jump like kind of messed up that plot.
Hmm. So then
Yeah.
they end with like Dan showing up instead, and it doesn't have a punch because the
Yeah.
natural punch should have been on the Miles
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, but yeah, there's just it was yeah. I guess it's just a season 5 thing. These episodes are really hodgepodgey, and there's
Yeah,
so much that
yeah.
they're trying to
They
throw
don't
in.
have a what's the thing called? They don't have a a Flash like
Mm.
convention. So like
Mhm.
this episode was traditional flashback, but I think one thing about that was that it was just like the Saeed one. It was like skipping through time like a lot,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
didn't really have a through line.
There was
It-
no main point to it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it
yeah.
was just like some random scenes, like cleaning up the mess, like getting to
Yeah.
certain points that
'Cause
they
some of the
hadn't really
scenes,
hit.
yeah, some of the flashbacks were about establishing his power, and
Yeah,
some of them were about establishing, what he did with the power,
yeah,
and then the end was about, what he thinks about his dad, and you should have told him that you
yeah,
loved him. But
yeah,
it's like that's not a natural conclusion to those previous
yeah.
flashbacks.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. Yeah, we get so much other stuff
Mhm.
in between. The stuff with Widmore and Bram's group, and Naomi, I guess they are trying to tie it together, but it's so like disjointed. Like
Mhm.
in the old days, the flashback style was much more like contained to a certain time period, and it would tell one story within that time
Yep.
period, and
Yep.
it would make a certain point about the character. And
Mhm.
so I think that's one thing that's kind of like missing here, that even though it's the traditional flashback, it's not quite accomplishing what they used to. And I guess the other thing is that in the old days, like I guess looking at the season as a whole, like it's all over the place. Like some of the episodes,
Mhm.
all they were doing is flashing from off the island crew to on the island crew,
Yep.
and that was it. And then there's other episodes that where they just do like a normal flashback, and then there's some
Mhm.
episodes where it's just like, you know it's just like following characters in like different places,
Yeah.
and there's not necessarily any sort of structure. So it's just, yeah, as a whole, like the season is all over the place,
Yeah.
like no question.
And I think this coming off of the last episode dealing with Locke and that kind of stuff and Ben and the crazy smoke monster judging reveal, it is a little weird to get to this, which feels lower stakes.
Yeah,
Uh this like, oh, now we'll talk about Miles.
yeah, 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 yeah.
What does
It
it
is a
matter?
huge step down.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's I question,
Like that
good
should have been
point.
the ending. That should have been the ending. He goes to where his parents live with him as a little baby, and he looks through the window, and Marvin Candle or whatever Pierre Chang is playing with his little baby Miles, and then Miles sees that his dad turns into the smoke monster, and
Oh
that's
my
where he gets his
god.
powers from.
Oh my
Like
god.
something weird like should have happened.
I'm your father,
Something
Miles.
Your smoke daddy. Yeah, I think because I feel like those are the two threads that the show was talking about: the relationship with his dad and that
Mhm.
identity, and then like his powers. And it seems like that would have converged to be a reveal about the same type of thing, but
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. They're totally disconnected,
Mhm.
and they just had to put them together because they wanted, basically, like, this is the final Miles flashback, and they wanted to get everything they could,
Mhm.
everything they thought was important about the character in here.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of hangs around for the rest of the show, and I just question why they would devote an entire episode to this a- at all, like just given the fact that he's not in the church. He
Mhm.
plays a marginal role in season 6 and a marginal role in season 5. I you know
I think they enjoy this idea of him, having a dad who's on the island in Darba. I think
Yeah, and
they
I
like.
guess they do use the powers like for certain
Mhm.
moments. He's
Yeah.
there to, like, if you need someone to like question a dead body, he can do that.
Yep.
I mean, it's a bit weird, but
He's the corpse whisperer.
yeah, and maybe that is the only reason they kept him around.
Mhm.
And I guess they thought if they were going to keep him around, they should develop him more. But it's sort of like, why him and not Frank, for example? I mean, I'm not saying I want like a deep Frank episode where we really dive into what makes Frank tick, but I'm just
Mhm.
saying that he's a character who like hangs around forever,
Yeah,
and
because he can fly an airplane or a
because he can fly.
helicopter.
Yeah, he's functional like Miles is,
Mhm.
but but they don't feel the need to give him really much of a backstory.
It does Miles eventually use his power on Locke's dead body?
That's a good question. I'm gonna
Like, I don't
say
remember that happening, but I
I
feel
think the
like
answer is no. I think
how
the
did they
answer is
not
no.
do that?
Yeah, it's weird. He does it on Jacob, but he doesn't do it on
Okay.
Locke. He does it on Jacob because like Alana wants to know what happened, and so he finds out that Ben, killed him, and
Mhm.
so that's so they do that. But yeah, I don't think they do it with I don't think they do it a lot because I think I'm trying to remember like how the groups get together, but I think that the crew there's a crew that bury Locke's body, and I think it's the people who are like right now in the present. So it's
Yeah.
like it's like Son. It's the people who
Oh,
are at the
that's right.
statue. It's like
That's right.
Son and Ben and Frank.
Yep.
It's a great crew. Ilana's there, I think. So yeah, that I don't think Miles has reunited with that group yet. So I,
Mhm.
I think they bury Locke's body, and he never encounters it, if I remember right. He does encounter Nikki and Paolo, I remember, at a certain point.
Mhm. I think I want to see a version of this season where Jack doesn't go to the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Like he goes to the present. Cuz I feel like he's just wasted.
Yeah.
He's not actually doing
He's
anything.
sidelined completely for
Yeah.
this part of the show. It's like you just sit here in the 70s. I feel like they thought he would be too proactive. He would too much be trying to do something that would get in the way of the
But
plot they
that
wanted.
that but that'd be so cool to see him be a part of the whole question about Locke, and sort of, but he could still be passive because his whole thing is like, well, I'm here for a reason. Oh well, I'll just go with the flow. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess that is sort of a thing. But it is weird that
It's sort
like,
of like Saeed. Like I feel like Saeed is in the 70s for the same reason. Like they shouldn't have done it, but if he was in the present, he would be a problem
so
for
basically all
them
the
to.
proactive characters,
Yeah.
Saeed, Sawyer,
Yeah.
Jack, they're all in the 70s.
Yeah.
Kate, they're all in the 70s, and all the
Exactly.
passive people
Yep. Yep.
are in the present, and they just sit around and wait.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened. Yeah, that makes me think that's how Jacob picked who would send to the 70s if he even had anything to do with it.
He'd be
I
like,
still don't know.
I didn't send anybody
This
to the
day.
70s.
Yeah, I know. Well, what made you think I did that?
Yeah. Um, you guys were in the 70s?
Yeah. You didn't see the pictures? Come
Oh
on.
man. Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Who knows why that even happened?
Yeah. Yeah, it's questionable. But yeah, I think your general point is true. Like Jack takes center stage in season 6, so I feel like, they do a lot with Jack in the end,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
I think maybe part of the reason season 5 stands out is that Jack is not really a central character
Yeah.
in the story, like surprisingly, neither in the 70s or in the present.
But it's like he's just not interested in anything. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
he's
Now
like
he
very
does get on
phased.
board with Dan's faulty plan of changing the past. I
Oh, well,
think
he'll
that's
love
what
a good
activates
plan.
him.
He loves a
Yeah.
bad plan that can't be changed.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it seems like it's sort of like that's the only thing he jumped. And I think that really is like kind of crazy now that I think about it, that at this late stage in the story, the thing that moves passive Jack to action is erasing the entire
Mm.
past that's happened on the
Which
show.
he's just resigned himself to accepting. But
Yeah,
then he's
isn't
like,
that
"Hey,
weird?
now that I've
Isn't that
accepted
weird?
this,
Now that I think
I'm not
about it,
going
that
to
seems
change
like
it all."
kind of a mess, kind of an inconsistent story
Yeah.
element there. Character like beat. What the fuck? What the fuck, Jack?
Yeah, it's like this is I'm not supposed to do
We'll
anything.
have to
Oh, I
see when
can
we
do
get there
something?
if they try to explain that point. If they have
Yeah.
Kate like 2 days ago you didn't do anything and now you're about to blow up a fucking
Mhm.
hydrogen bomb. Like, what's wrong with you? Well, Kate.
I just accepted my path, and my path led me here, and this is why I have to
Yeah.
do it.
And it's just like, yeah, but you decided that. Like, you could have decided your path was something else. Or like, it's
Mhm.
very artificial, that whole thing.
That's the thing about paths.
Yeah.
That's why they call it a path, Kate. That's why they call it a path. But yeah, so not my favorite episode ever.
No.
But
Not like
not
the
the
worst episode
worst.
I've ever seen, but
No, not
it
the
was just
worst.
very okay. It had some
Yeah.
okay moments. It did have the famous numbers like incident, the
Yeah.
numbers
So
being
yeah, I mean
handed.
that's huge. I mean, we've talked several times about this whole idea of you know, um one of the things the writers were trying to do with the show, this idea of the meaning of life. And so, how do you figure out what things mean, right? You have to sort of interpret things and place your own meaning on them, which is just basically what the characters are doing on a fundamental level with like everything, right? So that question of if we would have seen all the scenes with the numbers chronologically, this would be the first scene,
Right.
and here we go. And so, conversely, this is like the last thing we get about the numbers, this origin story. So, originally it seemed very lackluster and disappointing to have the numbers be this super mysterious, interesting facet of the show, and then to come to this being the last answer of them going, "Oh, this is why they're on the station. Like,
Yeah.
this is where the numbers come from." And so yeah, it's just kind of interesting to get to that point again to see how if this was the first thing we would have seen, which Hurley was there, by the way. So it's interesting for him. It would have been cool for him to have that revelation that we sort of have about the chronology, because he's actually there to witness the numbers. Um, but that idea of like he's the one who thinks they're bad luck,
Yeah.
because of the meaning he places on them because of what sort of happens around them. But yeah, if there's anyone who, yeah, would have been affected by seeing the numbers, it's Hurley. And
Yeah, I think it's kind of disappointing that his
mhm,
only takeaway was like, "Oh, that's the Swan Station." Like he
yeah,
didn't really seem to take in anything about what it
yeah,
meant that he just witnessed
hmm,
the origin of the numbers like being stamped on the hatch and
yeah,
what that means retroactively. It seems like he doesn't actually care about the numbers anymore and
hmm.
will not for the rest of the show.
Yep, he's over that somehow.
I
He
don't
got
really
over it.
know why. I don't know what the breakthrough was, but I agree. I think it could have been interesting to have him actually like come to a resolution.
Hmm.
It
Well,
doesn't
this would
have
have been the
to.
moment to have
Yeah,
him
exactly. That's what I'm
realize
saying.
something,
Yeah.
and then yeah, and then put it behind him. Like, oh wow, all this time, you know, because he he knows the sort of lineage of the numbers, right? Like he knows where he got them from. He
Yeah.
knows that guy heard him from the
He
message.
knows that was connected to the island.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
It closes the loop, if you will.
yeah, so it'd have been really perfect if he would have kind of realized that here.
Yeah.
All this time I was
I
worried
think
about
they
the numbers.
missed a chance
Yeah,
to
all this
do something
time
with that.
I'm worried about the numbers, and it's just some digits in a book that Gary or whoever
Yeah.
had.
We're
Uh,
gonna figure out that it's the Swan Station, and the viewer will figure that out anyway. And actually,
mhm.
if Hurley thinks about it, it's
Radzinski's
implicit
gonna
that he
tell
knows
us.
that. I just think like it's disappointing that like that's all we get as
And
a reaction.
they could have left that a longer mystery, right? They didn't have to tell us in that moment that that was the Swan Station, because that's
Yeah,
gonna, that's a big play of the
exactly.
whole rest of the season is them,
Yeah,
all
I
being
agree.
worried about it. So they could have left that. Oh, is this another station we haven't seen before? I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, they put the numbers on it, but it's like,
yeah,
oh, is there a second station with the numbers? Like, maybe we could have had that theory for an episode or two.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, why not? It doesn't like hurt anything. I don't think it helps to tell us this soon.
hmm
I don't see the value in that. If
yeah.
anything, it just makes it clearer where the story. I mean, it's always hard to know. I always have a hard time knowing what I was thinking when the original. I guess the way is like listen to the podcast,
hmm
but when
Goes
I
on
watched
record.
the original thing, like what was I thinking? I don't know. But but yeah, it just seems to me like it's just too like it's too directly like just saying like where the story's going,
Yeah.
which is if you're thinking about oh this swan station, it's the 70s, we're talking origin of the swan station here, that like if you know your orientation film you know that means something about the incident.
hmm Yeah,
And
we've
oh,
got
didn't they introduce a hydrogen bomb earlier in the semester or early in the I think
in
it's
the
semesters
semester.
now. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's my brain coming out.
Yeah.
Earlier in the season.
Yeah, during
Ooh.
spring break, they
It's like
told
a
us about it.
semester, it lasts a few months. I don't
Yep.
know. Anyway, shucks the
Uh,
time.
yeah, yeah. There's a hydrogen bomb in the
I
first
feel like
act.
you could have like had that theory even
Yeah.
without Hurley saying anything.
hmm
You know, um, uh, and of course, yeah. I mean, that's what they're gonna do. But yeah, it's. I mean, that whole thing's not as interesting as it should be. But I think they're not doing themselves any favors
hmm The other thing
by
I'd be
telegraphing it.
the other thing I'd be interesting to see as we get towards the end of the season is how reasonable is it and how worthy of a goal is it for them to try to reset the timeline? Because the way I'm thinking about it now, I'm like, is it that big a deal? I mean, like, some people have died since the beginning, of you guys crash landing there for sure. But like, it's just it seems like they're not in this dire point where, say for instance, like, one of them just died right now or something, and it's like, if Kate, or what I mean, like if there was like an immediate death, and then they're like, well, the only way to prevent this is to stop us from ever landing here. I just feel like since like Kate and most of them really in the 70s, like the drama hasn't really been about them being on the island. The drama's been about this other stuff. So it seems weird to be like, I know the solution to our problems. Well, let's prevent us from ever coming here. you
Right.
know, because they've all been sort of stuck in this whole idea of why they came back in the first place. Because
Yeah.
that's a threat that's still hanging there.
Yeah.
They just wound up in the 70s, this new group, and like they're not really connecting to the reason that they originally went back yet. And then before they can really even do that, they have to be connected to this other goal of like even preventing themselves from coming there in the first place, which is such a weird, which
Yeah.
maybe that's the idea, that's how they'll accomplish the reason they went back. They'll
Right.
just
We went
prevent
back to make sure
going.
that we never went.
Yikes, that makes sense.
I mean, I guess that's what he must believe.
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to get behind this plan.
Yeah, and it's supposed to destroy the island, and then the island's not there in
I
the
think no, it's supposed to. What was it? It's supposed to uh, seal the pocket or something. Um,
oh, he's sealing the
I
pocket, so
forget. I
then
think it's something like that, where it's like then the Swan Station won't be able to crash the plane. I think that's what it
let me
was.
see. Why not like write a note for Desmond? Dear Des, please press the button. Please
No, we
don't
can't do
fight.
that because whatever happened happens.
Don't fight Kelvin. But wait, but they
Huh?
can change
Huh?
it. They can.
Huh?
Variables. We're the variables.
Oh.
Yes, they vary.
Okay, no, okay. I'm looking up what the specific answer is. Here we go. Here we go. Ah! Ah! Hold on. God, this is so confusing. Okay, let's see. Blah blah blah. Okay. It's a long monologue. Okay. Blah blah blah. Okay. Yes, yes. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Monologue, monologue, monologue.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He says negate the energy under the swan. Yeah, it's basically what I was saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
So by negating the energy, the swan station, the button won't happen. Desmond won't not push the button because the button won't exist. Plane won't crash. Freighter won't come. Everybody happy.
All right. Well, I'm sure it'll work out exactly like that.
Although, actually, I'm reading something here and I'm thinking, is that true? So here's something that Faraday says in the next episode. And
Spoiler alert.
yeah, sorry. And because your plane crashed, a freighter will be sent to this island. A freighter I was on in Charlotte, and so on and so
Oh, that's
forth.
right. He's trying to save Charlotte.
Yes, good
That's
point.
think
Good
that's
point.
part of it. Yeah.
But here's my question:
Uh
Was
oh.
was that freighter really sent there because the plane crashed? I don't think it was.
Oh
I
no!
don't
He
think
was
it
in there because of
was.
Ben.
I think he's wrong. Yeah, it was Ben. I don't think Ben didn't have anything to do with the plane crashing. That's a totally separate
Wow.
thing.
Oops.
Yeah, I think they fucked that up. Yeah, I think the freighter could still go, and I think they all of them. Charlotte could still go, even without this. I
Well,
don't think he
maybe,
thought that
maybe,
through.
maybe it's true from Dan's perspective. Like he doesn't know enough to really know the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it could be that he really believes that, but I think he's wrong.
Yeah, definitely he's wrong. Huh.
Yeah, yeah. Did he never learn? Like,
Oh,
did he?
because you know why? You know why they're saying that? Because Kimi that was there to kill them all, basically. Maybe that's the idea. Like, oh,
Yeah,
well, there was an idea that he's going to kill all of you people. That was
yeah,
like a plot point for a while. So
yeah.
therefore, he was sent to kill you all. But it's really he was
Right.
sent to capture Ben.
Yeah, Kimi was there because he knew they were there, and therefore people needed to be killed. But like, Kimi would have killed whoever stood in the way.
Yeah.
It could have just been the others. Kimi will kill them. He doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kimi don't care.
Kimi don't care.
Kimi kill, not care. Yeah. All right. I'm curious to see in the moment how that plays
Yeah.
out when we get to that.
Yeah, yeah, just reading through this monologue, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know if the like I feel like already from the start he's like a bit faulty in his thinking. Um it
I
will
love
prevent the
that.
plane crash, but yeah,
Oh, is it? Is it? Does Widmore find the island because of the energy that goes off from the station when it
oh fuck,
collapses?
right. So he would want to send a freighter, but he wouldn't be able
He
to
wouldn't know where it was.
because the Swan Station thing was what told him where the island was.
Yeah.
Assuming he did like information sharing with Penny or
Yeah.
whatever. It's
Yep.
like it's a bit vague how that all happened, but yeah, maybe that's how he found it. Although he finds it again,
So
apparently
you're
without
saying
the aid of
not
him.
you're saying not Desmond failing to press the button, but the time when Desmond turned the failsafe, because that's the
Exactly.
one that Penny captured.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah. He
so
said, he'd been looking for it for 20
yep,
years or whatever.
yep.
So, yeah.
So that's how. So if the plane
Yeah.
never if the Swan Station isn't there, there's no failsafe.
No fail safe.
Yeah,
And yeah, yeah, yeah. So okay. So the freighter won't come not because not so I think the problem was what he said. Uh he because he said that the freighter came because the plane crashed. And that's not really true. I mean,
yeah. It's sort of more of a series of events
yeah.
connected, but not a causal
Yeah,
connection.
it's like the people on the plane did like play a role in the fact that the freighter came because they went in the hatch and but whatever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Desmond wasn't on the plane, so whatever. But he did like the reason why he got in the position of turning the failsafe was because of people on the plane. So
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just I don't know. They're trying to like make a point, and sometimes they just shortcut things in a way that's not accurate. And I guess
Yeah.
like that's okay that it happens a lot. Or
It's
maybe
like
the point is just that Faraday doesn't fully understand what happened. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's almost like when they wrote it, they didn't expect someone to spend 13 years analyzing what the lines are going to be.
Well, they should have.
They clearly mistaken themselves. All right. Well,
Yeah.
pretty interesting stuff.
Well, we'll get to
I
that one next
definitely,
time.
yeah, that's for the next time. I think
It's a
I
little
remember
preview.
the end of the season being pretty interesting. So
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
It's definitely like more eventful. And I think we can already feel that happening. I remember being so happy that they were found out, like that people in Dharma were suspicious. Because I'm like, that's great. We could be done with this status quo
Yeah,
bullshit. Because like this Dharma shit is not happening for
let's
me.
end the ruse. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Like I can't wait. Of course, like I fucking hate it. Like I hate the Dokes thing on Dexter that they go on believing that they were hostiles who infiltrated them and then like fucked up their Swan Station. That's what they believe. That
Wow.
they were fucking hostiles. So annoying to me that they never get corrected. I almost wish I could time travel just to correct them. Like there were time travelers. Like remember that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I know they tell Pierre Chang that at a certain point, but he never mentions it in the video. So it's like, I know
Because
there's a
whatever
reason.
happened happened. Whatever happened are the variables. All
Okay.
right. Well, until next time. Thanks and namaste.
Namaste and good luck.